Hi and welcome to this video. In this video I'll be talking about RKE, Rancher Kubernetes Engine, Kubernetes versions, and how to save system images to disk so that you can prepare them and transport them to an air-gapped environment or edge computing if you want to. I created a repository in GitHub, and as you can see here, it's just on my GitHub vlog. There's a folder called RKE Offline, and in there I have a couple of scripts that I want to show you today. So let's have a look at it. I'll just switch to the terminal. Here I've already downloaded the repository, and as you can see we have 3 scripts and a README file. The first script we'll look at is the listversions.sh, and if we run this, it will ask RKE, the one you've installed, what versions it supports right now. And this is important because you need to match the version of RKE with the images that you pull. So in this case, we get these 3. I would like the newest one, so I'll just select this. Now we have the option to use either Docker or Scopy to download the images. The reason why I added Scopy is that it doesn't require a Docker daemon running. And if you're doing this on a laptop or on a VM, it might not be a bigger problem. But if you're running this as part of a pipeline in Kubernetes, you would need to have access to the host Docker daemon, giving you root access to the worker node. And we don't want that. So I'll just show both examples, and then you can choose which one to use. So I would like to show the Docker one first. So in this case, Docker will download or pull the images in parallel, and then afterwards it will save it to disk, and we get tar files. These we can then transport. So if I run this, it will list the images that it will pull, and then it'll wait for it to be done pulling. It'll print a character down here every time one of them is done, and when it's done, it'll start to save them to disk. This is done in parallel, and the saving to disk is also done in parallel. I'll be right back when it's done. Okay, so now it's done pulling the images and it started saving them to disk. And it'll take some time as well, not that much, but it will take some time. So I'll be right back again. Okay, so now it's done. Let's have a look at what we got. So we have now a folder called output. And if we go into this, we can see we have a folder with the version that we specified. And inside this folder, we have all the tar files for all the images RKE needs to work. We also have a log file. And if we look at that, we get all the output. And we also get the version of Kubernetes and the version of RKE. These needs to match, so this is important. And also how fast it was on this machine. Now, let's try and do this without using the Docker daemon by using Scopy. So let's list the versions, and we want the same one, and then Scopy get images with the version, and it'll start again. The only difference here is that in Scopy you can tell it an input and an output. So it doesn't need to pull it first and then save it. It can actually do that in one operation. The problem is Scopy is very smart, so it actually does a lot of things in parallel. So if I went and pulled these in parallel, it actually crashes sometimes my machine. I get IO exceptions or errors. So this one is not running in parallel. If you have a super awesome computer, you can try enabling it. But right now it's doing it in series, one at a time. But it's still really good, I think, and it doesn't need the Docker daemon or root access. You can just use it in a pipeline in your infrastructure. So I think that's really good considering security. I'll be right back when Scopy is done. Okay, so now it's done. Let's see what we got. It took 8 minutes, the other took 3. So it takes more time with Scopy because I'm not doing it in parallel, but I want it to be stable more than anything else. So if we go to output, we can see again that we got this folder with the version. We got all the tar files and a log file. If we cat the log file, we can see all the output from Scopy and the version of our key, the version of Kubernetes, and the time, of course. So I hope you liked this video. If you want to see more of this kind of video, please hit the like button. If you have a comment or a question, please put it in the comment section and I will try and answer it as fast as possible. Thank you so much for this time. Looking forward to the next video. Bye.